When Mia was born, she seemed perfectly healthy. Her parents were overjoyed to welcome their first child into the world. But then she fell ill.
I will never get used to the idea of my daughter dying. Never.
I've noticed that there are times when I just want to be as far away as possible.
Eventually, they found help at a children's hospice in Berlin. It's dinner time. Sarah is making porridge for her daughter. Christopher has just come home from work and is helping out. Mia is no longer able to swallow, so she needs a feeding tube. Sarah cares for her around the clock, 24 hours a day. There's not much time left for herself.
People often say to me, "Oh, you're so brave. How do you manage it all?" And I tell them I'm not brave. I'm not doing well with all of this. I wish things were different. I can't keep doing this, but I have no choice. What else can I do?
Mia was born on the 18th of October 2020. For the first 7 months, it was the perfect family dream. But suddenly, everything changes. Mia starts having seizures. Her parents take her to the hospital. Sarah stays with her and sends a video message to the family.
I think we're okay given the circumstances. We've been in the hospital for a week, but the good news is that Mia's seizures are becoming less frequent. Today she hasn't had any at all.
The medication seems to be working and Mia is released from hospital. But soon after, she has more seizures, more severe than the last.
So far, the most difficult time for us was when they placed her in an induced coma with anesthesia and intubation and everything. And they just sent us out, and we didn't know what was going to happen next. Would she ever wake up again? Would we ever see her again?
Mia has a rare genetic defect, a mitochondrial disorder. Mitochondria are commonly known as the powerhouses of the cell. When they don't work properly, the body's cells don't receive enough energy. In Mia's case, this causes epileptic seizures, which are treated with sedatives. The disease is incurable. Mia will die.
I go from anger to devastating sadness and keep thinking this is so unfair. It's just so unfair and there's nothing I can do about it. I feel totally powerless.
Go ahead and try punching the froggy. Just try. He's got a bell. What I find most difficult is the uncertainty. How long will Mia still be with us? That's not really meant for you to hear. On the one hand, I'm glad for every day she's still with us. On the other hand, I wish this would all just end for her, and for us too. And of course that makes me feel really guilty. You know, wishing that, well, to put it bluntly, wishing for Mia to die.
Now they have a second child. Hannah is also at risk of a genetic disorder, but so far she appears healthy.
Hello, can we come in?
The family wants to make the most of the time they have left with their daughter. They go to music therapy once a week. Hannah comes too.
When Mia was Hannah's age, she responded really well to music and always calmed down when I sang or played music. Mia has always been such a big fan of music. Hannah, not so much. Hannah doesn't like it when Mommy sings, does she?
But it's more than just soothing. Due to her condition, Mia never learned how to speak. Music is therefore a way for her to communicate. With the help of her teacher, Christine Mattes, she can even move the violin bow herself.
I try to sense her impulses and then translate that into the music and the way we draw the bow. This reinforces what she wants to express. She also corrects me if I don't do it the way she wants.
3 months later, in Berlin's central Mitte district, Sarah and Christopher are on their way to the Berliner Herz, a children's hospice. But it's not a sad visit, as one might initially expect.
Are you happy? It's totally different from what we had imagined. We were a little intimidated at first. I mean, it's a children's hospice after all. At first, we didn't even accept their offer and tried to get by on our own, but now, ever since our first visit, we really enjoy coming here. We're here regularly.
What I like most is how happy it makes Mia. You can really tell as soon as she's wheeled in and she sees all the caretakers again.
Look, you can tell.
Unlike adult hospices, children's hospices in Germany provide support for families from the time of diagnosis to the final stages of a children's illness. Like many others, the hospice is financed by a combination of public health insurance and private donations. Sarah and Christopher don't have to pay any extra costs. Mia now requires round-the-clock care. Injections and medication are part of her everyday life. Here at the hospice, Sarah and Christopher can get some rest. Their relationship is also strained.
I've noticed there are times when I just want to be as far away as possible. Realizing that you're trying to escape the situation and from your own child is tough. Very, very tough.
Ja, schwierig. Sehr, sehr schwierig.
Today, they're meeting Dr. Cornelia Reinländer. She's been with the family for years.
How do you think things are progressing?
There's a big difference between having a child that has an epileptic seizure every few months, and that's where we started, to having a child that can't eat, can't cough, can't sleep. There's not much left that she can do on her own.
You get to the point where you ask yourself, when does it start not being that good for her anymore?
If you could make a wish for how she dies, would you like to do this with her at home?
If I could make a wish, I'd want it to happen without suffering.
I would like to hold her in my arms, and I think I'd prefer it here, at the children's hospice. After, the room will be so burdened, and if that's at home...
The way you're doing this is really the best you can do for Mia. You're fully engaged. You're concerned about her needs.
It's always going to be hard.
Especially when you remember how she used to be.
But she's still in there. It's like she's locked up, the personality we got to know.
In the meantime, Mia is with her caretaker, Jan Selig, in what's called the Snoozle Room, a multi-sensory place where kids can play with light and sound.
We come in here with the children to create a certain soothing atmosphere. It's about creating a safe space for them to retreat and calm down.
Mia still responds well to light. Here she can reactivate her grasping reflex. Jan knows that Mia will die soon.
I've learned that death and dying are simply part of life, and that's why it's really important to break down the taboos around this. It's an important topic, it can't be ignored. These children are a part of our society and deserve to be seen and included just like any other children.
Thank you. Look, honey, here we go.
8 weeks later, Sarah visits a festival of lights with her daughter. She wants to cheer her up. The last weeks have been difficult.
Mia is not doing too well at the moment. She just had a weeks-long infection. And the poor state she's in now was basically constant. Actually, it was worse. Day and night she was struggling with mucus in her airways.
The infection has weakened Mia. Breathing is a constant struggle. Sarah has to help with an aspirator because Mia is too weak to cough up mucus by herself.
Oh, that was a big one. Well done, darling.
Her condition doesn't improve. They decide to go home. Time for bed. It's a family ritual to read a bedtime story to both daughters. Then Christopher and Sarah sing them to sleep.
Schlaf, Mia, schlaf nur ein, bald kommt die Nacht. Hat sich aus Wolken Pantoffeln gemacht. Kommt von den Bergen, kommt von ganz weit.